way to start the week. Okay, Tinky, you can get under the blanket. Okay. Quality is shitty because I'm on my tablet, not my phone. I'm going to give people a second to join. So yeah, the quality down here is shitty because I'm filming on my tablet and not my phone. So yeah. And I'm back in this room, and I'm trying to be quiet because the other occupant of the house is still asleep. Mom is not here. I'll explain that later. But I figure it's almost 11 o'clock. I've given him more than enough time to wake up. So... I don't want to start talking when no one's here. Kingy! Alright, I'll just start the King update since it's the easiest and y'all already know. He is fine. Come here, Bubba. Oh yes, growl like the little pit bull you are. Hey! That's inappropriate. We're still working on his nipping. You like my lipstick? Okay. You like my he likes my lipstick. Hot damn. Hi. You know nipping's inappropriate. We gotta talk about that. Yeah, he's fine. You managed to cut last week's live off short, Bubba. You know that? He's not sorry about last week's live at all. He's not sorry about last week's live at all, guys. Tinky's under the blanket, but I can get Oakley in frame. She's fine. She's tired. And Missy's blowing her coat, so that's fucking lovely. There's hair everywhere. We're still in this apartment. We're still in the Ballroom apartment. Hopefully, we'll be in there sometime soon. On our actual apartment, we've actually paid on it. So you would reason to think we'd be in it. No. No. We're not in it yet. Nope. And... Everyone's so tired. Okay, guess no one's gonna show up even though I told people. I gave you all a 4-hour window. That was not a good idea on my part. Everyone's tired, apparently. Can I get any fur off you, Oakley, to show the lovely viewers? Oakley fur. This shit is everywhere in this apartment right now. Just set it up there. Because I actually have an idea of what to do with her fur. I'm not even sure it's going to work, but I'm going to try needle felting with it. I was just playing with her fur, and it actually, once you wash it and, work it, it ends up becoming quite the fibrous material, which, seeing as it's a natural animal fur, yeah, and husky undercoat is really, really soft and fine, so I don't see why it wouldn't work. But I don't want to say I'm going to do it until I know it's going to work. So I guess this afternoon after her WALK, which I guess we're going to try to walk her and King together, I'm going to try and de-shed her as much as I can without a shedding brush, which I don't have with me here. It's in Missouri, which we haven't gone back to get anything yet, because our van is still impounded. Yeah, I guess now's a good time to plug in. I have commissions open on DeviantArt, I have Adoptables open, and I have restarted my Redbubble, and I put up a design yesterday. I swore I was not going to do any more Warrior Cats designs after Warrior Cats decided to strengthen their copyright in the assholes last year, but I was watching Reddit videos with me. That's never a good idea. And I made a Karen rainflower design. I'll post it in community after this is over. So yeah, there is just a random Karen rainflower meme design in my recent posts on Redbubble, and I kind of love it. I was like, who's the most Karenist? How about the bitch who was absolutely awful to her disabled son? Yes. I love it. I just fucking love it. So, we've got the King update down. We think it was a seizure. We don't know. It could have been just a random event. but we're pretty sure it was Caesar. He's even covered in Oakley hair. Like, this is ridiculous. I'm pulling Oakley hair off our pit bull puppy. Like, that's her coarser fur that she's shedding too. That's not the soft undercoat, that's the coarser top fur. Because I guess for some reason she decided to blow her guard hair as well as her undercoat. Like, Oakley's a hot mess right now. She is on schedule. She usually blows her coat like November, early December, so I'm not really worried. That's what she did last year when blowing it, so I'm not exactly concerned. But she seems to be shedding a whole lot more heavier than when she usually blows her coat, which I think is just the stress of everything going on and having to move and the change of environment and everything else. So Oakley's okay. Tink's underneath the blanket. Old girl's hanging in there. She's going on 12 years old next year. So next year, June 5th, she'll be 12 years old next year. And she's doing great. Pretty much blind. Her cataract and her one good eye is getting worse. And I think her hearing's going too, but she's still hanging in there. Still gets up the energy to play with King. Or King just annoys her into playing. I don't know which. Okay, let's get into the actual topic. Medina Spirit. I don't know why I wanted to talk about this so much when I don't feel like we don't know anything yet. His necropsy is not, it's either not complete yet or not public. I wouldn't be shocked if it isn't completed yet. If they're going over with a fine-tooth comb, especially with like the toxicology shit, or it's just not public yet. Because it, if you guys don't know, Medina Spirit won the 2021 Kentucky Derby, which was the first Kentucky Derby I actually watched live. Well, watched in general. It was the first Kentucky Derby I watched in general. I was rooting for Essential Quality because they just built him up to be the better horse. Especially during this whole day there was like the pre-races on TV. So there was like races in between. They talk about the contenders and they were all going on about Essential Quality, and Essential Quality was the horse they talked about the most. So I was kind of rooting for him because he just sounded like the better choice. Long and behold, here comes Medina Spirit, and then afterward he failed a drug test. So yeah, he failed the drug test, which horse racing is very, very strict as far as the drug testing goes, and apparently he tested positive for a banned drug. And then afterward, I don't want to get the trainer's name wrong, Baffert, said that it came from a cream used to treat the horse's skin condition. And this has been a controversy that has followed Medina Spirit this entire time. He continued racing after this. He came second in the Breeders' Cup, I believe. I have to double check my facts there. And Monday, he finished a workout and had a heart attack and died. I want to remind you, this is a 3-year-old horse. Not exactly normal for a 3-year-old horse. If he was, say, a stallion standing stud, and he was a bit older, I wouldn't be shocked. Pioneer of the Nile, who was the sire of Kentucky Derby, of Triple Crown winner American Pharoah, died at 13 of a heart attack. Seabiscuit died at 14 of a heart attack. And even Riva Ridge died, I believe he was 16 years old, of a heart attack, all after breeding mares. It's not that uncommon for stallions to die young from breeding from heart attacks. So if he was a bit older, it wouldn't be that much of a shock, but he's a 3-year-old colt. If, say, he broken down and he wouldn't be able to save, that would be more acceptable than this, because there's this big question mark of why, because 3-year-old horses don't just drop dead of heart attacks. There had to be either something wrong within him or something that this trainer did to him. And I want to say, Baffert, since 2000, so my entire life, in 21 years, he has had 74 horses die. That is not normal. That is not acceptable. No one would look at those statistics and say that is okay. 74, No, in a 21-year span, you do not have 74 horses fucking die. And there are trainers who have been doing this for a while who've never had a horse die. So there have been trainers who've never had a horse break down, although most of those I find are ones that have not done it seriously, like more of part-time stuff. And I've heard anecdote I can't talk of that. Horses do not just drop dead of fucking heart attacks when they're 3 years old, you know. There's gotta be, I personally believe that something in the drugs, because we know Baffert has way too many things with drugging and shit. There's gotta be something they gave to that horse for it to go down. And I kind of want this to be the final nail in the coffin, because Bob Baffert should not be training horses. And it seems like the whole necropsy is going to be done by a third party. It's some university. I can't think of the actual thing. But if it's not being done by an impartial third party, then an impartial third party needs to look over it. Because, let's be honest, Bob Baffert has a lot of power in the horse racing world. He has the money to the point where fines don't matter. Because to someone who's got a lot of money, fines don't mean jack shit. It's a simple drop in the bucket and move on. And he's so experienced to the fact where these druggings can't be an accident, like he wants to claim. If you've... Well, why do I always stream when Moonkitty uploads a video? Okay. These cannot be an accident. If he were newer in the industry and had less experience, yeah, I think people could believe that he could accidentally give a horse something and not know the time it takes to get out of the horse's system before racing. He knows. Like, he knows this. And compounding the fact is, 74 horses dying under his care, and these owners are still entrusting their horses to these trainers, because if you guys don't know how horse racing works, usually there can be there are oftentimes exceptions sometimes. There is a owner who owns the horse. So I'm going to use Seabiscuit as an example because that's a well-known one. So Charles Howard owned the horse. Tom Smith trained it, and Red Pollard rode it. So there's the owner, then there's the trainer, and then there's a jockey. All of those... The owner's in charge of the... owner hires the trainer, so why are they hiring this person who has killed 74 horses in 21 years? Why? And I also think it doesn't help that this particular horse, you know, was in the headlines a lot, especially winning it's winning the Kentucky Derby and then having this drugging scandal, and then him having died. This is probably the best opportunity to get this man barred from working in the racing industry. Do I think it's going to happen? No, I don't think it's... I don't think he's going to face any consequences at all, because he's rich, so they're probably just going to throw another fine at him, and B, people are still going to hire him because he gets results. Doesn't matter how shitty those results are, he gets results. It just... This guy has a job that I would fucking kill for. And I don't know that about Medina Spirit. I may have to look into that. I think there was some controversy about that. But I do not know if he's still going to be considered the winner of the Kentucky Derby because of the drugging. I feel like if he was, he would have known by now. I don't know, because isn't the Kentucky Derby the first Saturday in May? So yeah, it's been several months. I'm not sure. So yeah. There is a serious problem when you have 74 horses die in 21 years. What? what I can't figure is why has no one done anything before now? Because it just breaks my brain, and I hope that when this necropsy results come back on Medina Spirit, they do something. The Jockey Club does something. The whoever else is above thoroughbred racing, I think there's a couple other organizations, they do something, because this is not okay, and it's what makes the racing industry look so bad. If you go on videos of covering Medina Spirit's death, there are comments like, oh, how horse racing abusive and all. Guys, this is one isolated trainer problem, and it doesn't help that it happened at Santa Anita, which I believe it was either last year or 2019. Santa Anita had a really bad problem of horses dying, and it's sort of an isolated of one track and one trainer that have all these bad incidents, and that's making this horse racing industry look bad. And let's talk about, what do you want to do if we ban horse racing? What do you all who hate horse racing want to do with the thousands of thoroughbreds that will be misplaced? And not to mention, horse racing is a very big business that brings in a lot of money. That's going to cause serious economic downfalls for the United States, because thousands of people out of work, revenue chains broken, and about several thousand horses just misplaced. And not everyone knows how to properly retrain a thoroughbred off the track, because thoroughbreds aren't trained necessarily like your average riding horse. They don't know how to stand in a mounting block and shit like that. Like, they're trained to what they need to be. And that's why there's such a stereotype of crazy thoroughbreds. Let me tell you one thing. The best horse I ever rode was an off-the-track thoroughbred. It was the last horse I rode seriously when I was 14. She was so much fucking fun to ride, y'all. She was really skittish. I think she wasn't completely properly rebroke off the track, but she just liked to go, and she's the one who got me comfortable going fast on a horse, because previously I was scared to go above a trot. She was fun. She just wanted to go. She just had fun. She just wanted to go. And it wasn't where she would bolt. She just enjoyed just riding in general. She was so much fun. So don't let the negative stereotypes about thoroughbreds knock you, because they are incredibly fun to ride. And also, how many of these people who say the horse racing is abusive also are the ones who won't touch thoroughbreds with a 10-foot pole? Because there's a lot of people who say the thoroughbreds aren't worth it, they fall apart, yada, 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 they're crazy, they'll kill you. The closest thing I've ever had to a horse killing me was a quarter horse. So I can't speak on the thoroughbreds will kill you part. Though I have seen quite a few neurotic quarter horses that are going to kill someone one day. So what do you want to do with these horses? Because all you're going to do is pretty much fund the meat industry, because that's the only place that this much of surplus horses is probably going to end up at. Because there's no way you can find mass homes for these thousands and thousands of horses, especially since horse riding is such a niche and expensive hobby. Like, you're not gonna find homes for all of these horses. You're not even cutting horses on the track, but also breeding stock. What are you gonna do? There's thousands and thousands. There is nowhere for these horses to go if you want to ban racing. So I have to give King scratchies because he looks so cute. There's nowhere for these horses to go, and all you're going to be doing is funding the meat industry, because kill buyers, they still exist in the United States, even though all slaughterhouses are closed. They just ship horses out, and all you're going to be doing is sending horses to kill pens, because there isn't enough homes for all of these thoroughbreds. And even organizations like Canter and Retired Racehorse Project, they don't have the resources themselves to, even though, like, Canter actually has Canter-owned horses that are through their own rehabilitation program. The vast majority of horses on Canter website are through through trainer listings, where Candor is just the third-party seller who is listing these horses for sale. There is not enough room in these rescue organizations for every fucking thoroughbred in existence on the ground in the United States right now. So there really is not a happy ending to these horses if we were to ban racing. Oh, I'm already at the 20-minute mark and I've just been talking about horse racing. Lovely. So, yeah, what do these people want? I'm serious. What do these people want? Because it blows my mind. Like, are you going to personally take in all the horses that are going to be misplaced? What are you going to do about the economic downfall that will come with it? Like, think about how much money, say, NFL brings in through ticket sales and merchandise sales and everything else. It's a big business. And when you take something that big and important to the economy out, you're gonna have a fucking problem. So, yeah. I don't know. So, yeah, I will talk about Medina's toxicology report when it comes in and his necropsy in general. Because it's got to be something bad that happened to him. I keep getting notifications. Goodbye. And I'll also look into whether he is still considered the Kentucky Derby winner. I don't know, actually. I actually don't know a lot about what happened because I missed both the Prickety Stakes and the Belmont. And I just sort of got into this thing where I just stopped looking at who was winning what. But I do think he still was allowed to race afterwards, so I wouldn't see why. I believe he actually came second in the Breeders' Cup. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, now I guess I will go on to the general life update. Mom is not here. I said that in the beginning. No one was here. I do not want to say where she is, but she will be coming back. I'm not sure if she'll be back before we're in our new apartment or not. Hopefully she will be. Clara is still impounded, and like I said, I told you all about everything I have from my Redbubble to my DeviantArt and all. So yeah. Basically, we have an apartment, and it's paid for rent-wise, so that's good. And we've got King, Tinky, and Oakley. I have them missing Charlie a whole lot. Like, I'm having dreams where I don't know, I try to get her back, and I can't. And I know I can't. And it's hard, y'all. Because, I don't know, why I'm fixating on Charlie instead of everyone else. Charlie was just, I guess, more important to me, but in the end, I just couldn't bring her. Like, and I've been struggling with that because I miss her so much. But the thing is, I'd be like this even if she had died. Like, this has nothing to do with the fact that I had to leave her. Even if she had died and there's no way I could get her back, I would still be having these awful nightmares and dreams about finally getting reunited with her or coming so close and getting ripped away. I know it would be the same thing if Charlie had died. And it's awful. But I've got to move on. And I know I do. And for King's effort, little man here is trying his hardest to fill Charlie's paws. Okay, don't growl. Don't nip me. No, that's... Yeah, I think it's because of... Hey. He is trying his hardest to fill Charlie's shoes. Not that anyone could actually do that, but... He's a good boy. He's a very, very good boy. I don't know if he knows why I'm sad, but when I'm sad, he'll just curl up with me. I don't know if he knows or what. But yeah, and there really isn't that much else to say. Like, I feel like as far as life updates go, in 1 week, things can't really improve that much or change that much. But we have a roof over our head, and we have food, and that is what's important right now. just look at the positives. And I've got Oakley and Tinky, which I'm very grateful to still have them. I know I could not. There's a chance I could have not been able to keep them. So, yeah, that's what's important to me right now. And I don't know. I think I'm going to stop filming here because I've ran out of stuff to talk about. Suggest shit for me to talk about next week. Unless y'all want me to continue talking about horse racing, which I feel like I've been talking about way too much. But, yeah. Bye, y'all.